Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Claire.
Yeah. This week on Geek IV, our final episode, cosplay and Renaissance fairs with our guest expert, Rebecca Heeman. Welcome to Geek IV, your mainline solution to all your nerd culture needs straight into your bloodstream. You'll be fit and in tip-top shape in no time. Well, for a geek. I'm your spirit guide, Claire McRae, and today, for our final episode of the season, we are joined by cosplay and Ren Fair expert, Rebecca Heeman. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you, Claire.
Awesome. We're going to start off with our first segment, is going to be our up-to-date report, new and nerd-worthy, to give you the latest scoop on what's cooking. So basically, I want to talk about anything, all the workings that are going on in the cosplay world and everything right now. I know Otakon, which actually takes place right here in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about that?
So Otakon is, if not the largest, it's one of the largest conventions on the East Coast. And I think last year there were upwards of 30,000 people, so it's pretty big. Mm-hmm. It is really, I think, one of the most populous events in the city, if not in the summer, then all year. And unfortunately, they're moving it in 2017 to DC because the convention center is more than at capacity. Yeah. So it will unfortunately be leaving us.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it won't be too far away, but I wanted to stay in Baltimore.
No, I know. It was nice to have something close that brought in so many different people. Mm-hmm. I mean, different people.
Different. A lot of variety.
Yes.
But it's also because there's a Renaissance fair in Maryland as well, not too far from here.
There is.
So we sort of have like the epicenter now here, don't we?
I know. We got a lot of nerd stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. When does the Ren Fair open?
It is late August, I think, and runs through October.
Yeah, and they've got like a whole grounds for that. Like it's not just a convention center.
No, it's outside.
Yeah, it's a whole world basically.
It is. It's its own world, and it helps that it's very. I mean, it's not just a setting, it is sort of like its environment. The people working there are almost always, not just in costume, but in some kind of character. So I think we went 2 years ago, or last year, and we saw King Henry VIII. So that was, and he was, and his wife, and like he had squires and knights and stuff, and it was pretty cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I was like that Ren Fair, you can take a bit of variety to it also, is because I've only been a few times, but you see the peasantry and things like that, but then you also see like Xena Warrior Princess,
right,
and people with animal tails.
Why not? It's a variety.
If you were trying to get into cosplay and things like that, like let's say you're a really big fan of anime or you're a really big fan of certain shows like Doctor Who that has a really vibrant fan base, but this is like, you've never been a public fan of things, how do I sort of bridge that?
Well, I think that it depends on what medium or like what show or game you're focusing on, because some are a lot easier to sort of make that jump than others. If you're doing, like Doctor Who is a lot of clothes, it's pretty normal on the outfit scale, I would say. Some more iconic than others, if you have a sonic screwdriver or something. But then on the opposite side, like you said, Xena Warrior Princess, like that's a little bit more of a stretch financially and maybe out of your comfort zone.
Especially for like construction, if you didn't have the skill set quite yet, you might want to start with something easier or something maybe in between. As I'm cosplaying as Kyrie today in one of your excellent creations that you've lent me, and I think my hair is not quite right, but it's pretty close. So I'm enjoying myself.
It's beachy. It fits the theme.
Yeah, she just went for a swim before she hung out on the island with the palm tree.
Yeah,
that'll be great. I didn't play this game lots of times.
No, never,
like that.
never.
But yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on to the next question. So, do I need sewing skills?
No, you don't. I wish that I had sewing skills, but I have zero. And though that's something I'd like to work on for the future, even if it just, for myself, if I never do anything with it, it helps, especially with little things. I mean, if it's day of and you got your outfit made, but a button falls off, it helps to be able to know how to just do a little thing like that. But no, you do not need to know how to sew. And the reason is because you can get other people online, though you have to be careful with that, to make outfits for you, or if you're really lucky and you know a seamstress or someone in your family who sews, or even a friend who can do something for you, whether as a favor or commissioned for money. then,
For money.
For real money. Then, but there are a lot of different ways to get outfits made or done that don't involve you and Joanne Fabrics and like a really long time.
Long, arduous experience.
Right.
Like patterns and all of that jazz when you don't know what's happening.
Not so much.
Ease yourself in, maybe.
Yes.
How do I pick what I'm going to cosplay as? Maybe I like so many things and I have no idea. Like, how do you go about, in your experience, whittling it down to a certain genre, to a certain character?
I think that it's a mix of things. Starting with what are you really excited about, leading up to the convention or Halloween or whatever you're doing it for. That's usually how I decided. If I played a big game one year, I'm like, yep, for Otakon this year, I'm definitely doing this at least one day. Part of it is also, finances. Are you sewing it? If not, how are you getting it made? How much is that particular outfit going to cost? And I usually went off of my favorite character and not as much like, this would be a good outfit to do because it's easy, or this would be a cool outfit because, it's armor. But it was more like, I'm going to get this done no matter what because I want to be this character for a day.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of different factors, but I guess primarily it's a mix of what do you really feel like drawn toward, like passionately, and then how are your resources?
Because I know it might be easier to start with like people characters who wear jeans and things like that. But also like if you're really committed to something, you'll find a way, presumably. And also like my biggest thing is that the cosplays that I've done so far, since I'm not quite as experienced, have all been redhead characters.
That definitely
helps. It helps a lot to be Merida instead of like Princess Aurora or something that I just don't have the hair color for.
I've actually only done 2 blonde characters out of like the 7 or 6 to 8 that I've done. So unfortunately, I'm not doing it the right way.
You didn't make it easier on yourself.
No, it is.
You can always get wigs and things like that, but if you're not ready for that financial commitment or for like the upkeep, I know they can get tangled really easily, and that's no fun. So.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
It might be easier to start with someone with your natural hair color or something that you could do, or at least just don't start with like Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, but then I decided.
I weighed my options and then went with Princess Peach.
And actually, the funny thing about that is you mentioned it would be easier just to do somebody with jeans or something. Our first year, one of my friends I went with did Olette from Kingdom Hearts 2, which is a pretty simple outfit, and she's brunette, so it was perfect. And I said, I'm blonde, I'm going to do Princess Peach, because that makes sense for my hair.
And then
then the outfit was not quite so simple. So
that's a big
common sense is a good
it's a good tool. If you don't have sewing, common sense might help you out as well.
Just a little bit.
All right, well, thank you. Let's move on to our next segment, which will be quick shots. So I'm going to start off with some cosplay convention tips first. If you're starting out, I would say ask for some help. You might have someone who who can sew, who can craft, who just has done this before and might be able to give you advice from their own experience, who can help you with your costume, with your creation, or just with advice as you're doing your progress as well. Getting that secondhand knowledge, getting their opinions is really going to bring your cosplay to the next level. And then the second thing about making your costume is be reasonable. You're not going to want to start off your first con with Gundam or with armor that you have to construct and mold to your own body and things like that. That's some serious skill that you might just not have yet. And if you do, great. But for the rest of us, fabrics, clothing, things that might even just be a little bit more comfortable than that huge boxy costume, that's going to last you a lot more hours when you actually get to the convention center. And then lastly, for the final touches of your cosplay, details can really make a costume. If you have that really cool necklace, if you have the right shoes or the right color things, it's going to make that costume just that much better. And I think that it'll really make it possible for you to really rock it once you get to the con. And then would you like to give us some Ren Fair tips?
So some Ren Fair tips. One is, and I think this is one of the most important, is to stay hydrated. You might not think of it because it runs from the summer into the fall, but it's a lot of walking. It's completely outside, and a lot of people, maybe not you, are wearing heavier outfits. So even if you're in a tank top and shorts, drink a lot of water. You'll wish that you had if you don't. And another is plan out your day, because there's so much to do and you don't want to get there and look at the schedule and just be totally overwhelmed. So make sure ahead of time that you look at the events, if there's going to be any special guests on particular days, that you get around to all the different food and crafts and literally everything. But do it in a way that doesn't leave you dead at the end of the day. And the third tip is to see as much as you can. On that other note, once you have it planned out, try to do as much as you can, because you probably won't be back there anytime soon, and it really is a great opportunity.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, really. You pay to get there, you drive there, it's not, a short drive.
You might be dressed up to the nines.
Right? So
This is the moment.
Yeah, just sort of soak it up, see everyone you can, everything you can. Go for the turkey leg. I've heard good things.
It's worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
And for both occasions, just have fun. All right, that's all for this week and for our season. Thanks so much to Rebecca Heeman for coming on our show to talk about cosplay and Ren fairs. Thank you so much. I'm Claire McCrae, and this is Geek IV.